Hey YouTube, and thank you for watching Junkworks DIY Garage. Well, today's video is going to be on this LG clothes washing and drying machine. It is ventless as well. I had done a video, and my mom, she has one like this but smaller, and I did that video and had quite a few questions. I'm actually surprised by the questions, so if I seem a little I guess, rude about the way I say it, I apologize in advance. But I am going to kind of go through some setup procedures and what you need to set one of these up. And then I'm going to go on and talk about the machine here. As you can see, I've already done the video and had to reshoot the beginning anyway, so I thought I'd put that in there. Now, with these machines, we actually have 3 of these in the family, so I will tell you, although I tell you kind of some of the bad things about it, we do really like these. My mom's has been pretty darn good. We had one kind of pretty bad leak with it. Turned out it was down there. She just wasn't getting that closed well enough, so I talk about that in this video as well. My kids, on the other hand, they bought one, used it twice, and it dumped water all over their brand new floors that we had just got done on the trailer. And I talk about it a little bit in my kids' place videos, so if you want to learn more on that, although I don't talk about exactly what everything happened, it is in the kids' place videos if you want to see it. It is very similar to this one. Now, my mom's is actually about half the size of this one, quite a bit smaller. So, but all in all, for the most part, they're very similar. My kids, on the other hand, I think I talked about it in this video already, but I'll just say it. Theirs is a little more complicated, and honestly, I'm not going to do a video on that one. I don't know very much about these at all. But I thought I'd give you more, just some of the quirks we've had. I'll talk about draining it and cleaning out the filter in it, as well as setting it and running a load and what we do. I'm not going to tell you every single feature and things that it has, but quite honestly, I think it has too many. You don't need all the crap they put on these things, to be honest. But in the end, we have 3 of these in our family, and we are happy with them, just so you know. There is a little bit of growing pains, a few leaks. You will have some leaks. I also talk about that later as well. So, without further ado, hopefully you guys get something out of this. Please don't be offended if your comment was one I kind of bash a little bit in this. It just does get frustrating sometimes when you're answering questions that you feel you did answer in videos because people don't watch the videos all the way through. Alright, thanks for watching. If you like these kind of videos, please go check out my channel. Go check out my playlist. That is the best way to watch any of my videos. I have DIY, homeowner videos, as well as automotive repair. So I have different playlists for each one of my cars, different playlists for all the home builds or the different remodels I've done. Playlists for everything. Go check out my channel, check out the playlist, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Then the next one that I have on camera is actually my kids. That one is a newer version of this, which is quite a bit different. And to set that one over here, this is where you set everything, and this knob here. But to do that, the way I'm going to show you on this one, you actually have to like go online and get like a download for your phone, and you got to interact like with the machine and your phone to do it. I'm sure there's lots of people out there that love that, but quite honestly, I hate stuff like that. I don't want to have to read a 1,000-page manual and know how to use my 1,000-page manual phone and upload an app and go online and this and that. Now, I will say my wife did go online for this so that she could learn out how to set it the way I'm going to show you how to use this one. But after that, we just kind of set it and forget it. I don't change all our laundry. We don't separate everything. This machine does really well at not mixing stuff up. If we have brand new red stuff, we might put it in a different wash, or some exceptionally dirty stuff we'll put in a different wash. But for the most part, we throw stuff in here. set the machine for one way and forget about it. So I decided to get up off the ground and show you this more. I'm going to have to get down on the ground later, which is one of the biggest downfalls to this machine right here, is the way you have to empty the drain. But first of all, we're going to go back here and I'm going to show you what so many people seem to have trouble with. And yes, I am being a little mean about it, I guess, because I don't understand it. You got hot and cold there. If you can plug in a hose to your outside whatever to water your lawn, you can plug that in there. And you got hot and cold here. They even give you, I believe, a red and blue. I'm not sure about that. There's a lighter and darker, but either way, it is marked hot and cold on the back. Same on the little machine, same on my kid's machine. Yet again, if you can plug a hose into the outside, you can, and water your lawn, you can do this. That is how you hook up the water. Otherwise, if you can find a plug-in anywhere near it, you plug it in. Real simple. Just plug it in like you plug in anything else. If you can vacuum, you can plug it in. The hardest part about this right here is right here there's a gray hose that goes into what I have here, which goes directly into my plumbing and downhill and flows, you know how stuff flows downhill. You put that in some sort of a drain. You could put it in your sink if you're in an apartment and you have a plug-in and a way to get water into this machine. You could put that like in a sink and drain it in your sink. You might make a mess doing that, and if you do anything I say you can do and something bad happens, I am not responsible, but it should work. Otherwise, you have to have some way to drain the machine. Hot water in and out, plug in, 110 volt is all you need. You don't need the 220 or 240 volt, it's 110 volt. And some sort of way to put this down into a drain. So the next thing, we got those all done. There is no vent. There is no venting to the outside world with one of these machines. That's the great thing about if you have an apartment, you need 110, a drain, a way to get water in and out, no venting. If you're in an apartment, you don't need to vent this to the outside world, which is great. So the first thing we need here is we got this down here. Now yours will probably have a cap on it or a door on it, I guess is a better word for that. I took that off because it's a pain in the butt and it never did work quite right. It never closed and opened all that great, to be honest. So I just took that off to get out of my way. It's not, you don't break it taking it off. It's got little things right here and they just kind of pop off of there. No big deal. Next thing you're going to do is somewhere on your machine will be a hose like this. So you're going to unhook it there. I lift it up and pull this little plug out of here. And I got a bucket here. And this is just going to make a mess. You try and get it the best you can, but a lot of times you wind up with water on the ground because you can't put this low enough to get everything out very well. Now this, you're going to need to do, we do this once a week, and we don't have a ton of laundry. They say you can go longer, but I found that you'll start smelling a little bit of a, I don't know, just kind of a musty smell if you don't do it more often than they say to anyway. You'll have to figure this out on your own. Honestly, this has been less than a week right now, and I'm just showing this to you. We normally pick Wednesday and do it on Wednesday. Uh-oh. No, puppy. Don't let your dog take the lid. Now, as you can see, there's still a little bit more going to come out of here. I usually just let it drain that little bit. We'll plug it back up. Shove that back in there and pinch that. Then I usually get a towel and clean it up a little bit. It's nice because we're down in a basement. Doesn't really matter. It's the peel and stick floor. But if you have nice carpets or nice flooring, or wood flooring, you're going to want to have something that you can you know, soak up whatever spills. And doing this, definitely you will get some wetness. That is the biggest downside of this, is this is a really bad design, and they have not figured out a better way to do this. This is your lint trap here. Ew, that's less than a week's worth of stuff. You got to dig in there, and it's wet and kind of gross, but it's one of those things that has to be done. Get what you can off of this. I have noticed that this is where you're going to have leaking problems, right here, if you have a leaking problem. So I go in with the rag here. We'll wipe this up. I usually just kind of do a little bit of a wipe down, wipe this up, and the biggest thing is there's right in here is a gasket that keeps your water in where your water's supposed to be. So every now and then doing this, we don't do this every time. Sometimes we just pull it out, throw it in, but every few so often you want to wipe that up, get it fairly clean. Next thing, make sure this bucket is facing upwards when you put that in here. Now the reason for that is because when you turn this, the bucket doesn't turn with it. The bucket is always staying straight up. So you want to make sure that bucket is situated in there right. Get it to where it's somewhat tight and bump it until it stops. It will stop you. We have had a problem in the past where somebody just didn't tighten that enough, and it will leak out of here and it will go all over your basement or wherever you have it. And that sucks, even when it's in a basement. So now we are opening the machine up. Next thing you'll notice, also a bit of a downside. I really do like this machine, and if everything's working right, it's great. It saves time, it saves a lot on effort, and you're not rewashing things. We were rewashing things over and over and over again because it never got in the dryer for some reason. And so you walk away from it, and when you come back to this machine, everything's done. A lot of people say, oh, it takes so much more power. We have not found that to be true. Somebody told me their bill went up by $200 a month when they installed this machine. We haven't noticed a difference since we've installed this machine. Our bill has not gone up, not even remotely close to $200 a month, if at all. So, to each their own, but I don't know. They're doing something very wrong if their bill went up $200 a month. Regardless, then you got this right here. You'll notice a little bit of a water stain right here. And every now and then, you want to pay attention to this machine. And if you start seeing it leaking out of here, it will leak more than you think. And what it is right down in here, there is a drain hole, and it gets plugged up with dog hair, cat hair, people hair, whatever. This whole thing around here, this whole thing, every couple of times, quite often, you need to take a rag and wipe that out there. Also, around this here will build up with static and hair up under here. So you got to take a rag and keep that clean. So those two things, you need to keep those very clean or you will have a leak. Yet again, we're in a basement, so we don't worry about it probably as often as we should. And so you'll see we do have a little line that goes all the way down. So just something that you should be well aware of is with this machine, you probably will have a leak at least a few times when you're using it. It just, if you don't do everything perfectly right and don't have everything set up and cleaned up and it drained out, if you let that drain fill up and don't drain it out, that will also overfill and just start pouring out of there. Hello, Ellie. Alright, then you put your clothes in. Now, according to my wife, you do it about half to a third of a way full. We do not separate stuff. It is up to you on how you want to do that. Stuff these days just don't need to be separated, in my opinion. My mom would very much disagree with me. So to each their own. So make sure nothing's in the way of here. We got to make sure everything's in there. About a third of the way full is what they say. And whoop, close the machine. Well, according to my wife, all of these are in the same area on all of the ones we have. Now they have different sections here. You have a pre-wash, don't know what goes in there. Then you got your softener, so if you have a softener you want or bleach that you want, that's where those go. I think you can pull these in and out. We don't mess with these. All we do is take this, and right here there's a max line. Right here there's a max line. Then we have our detergent here. Main thing, it needs to be this HE or high efficiency, otherwise it doesn't really matter. We use liquid. It does say you can use the pods, but this is cheaper. We go to Costco for ours and fill it to the max line there and close it. Then over here we have all this stuff that's very confusing to me, and I've already forgotten how to use it. Alright, so I'm going to do the filming, so I apologize for the shakiness. I'm getting old and shaky. My wife is going to show you only her arm because I can't remember all the things she's telling me to do. So hopefully you figure this out.
There's the power button. Okay, then we do the custom program, which I just went online for the directions, but it comes up, shows me wash, rinse, spin, and dry. We do cold, extra high rinse, normal spin, and normal dry. You can change the temp or the spin if you want, but once it's ready to go, you just push the play button, as I call it, and then it does this where it is leveling out and measuring the soil in the machine. It does lock when it's being ran, and it can't be opened until it's completed the dry cycle unless you stop it. And it will give you a time, which is definitely an estimate of wash, rinse, spin, and dry.
So it's doing the weighing, getting it so it's level and good in there, so it likes the feel of it before it goes around. So you don't have to sit there and try and put everything in just right so it doesn't rattle your teeth out. Must not like this level. Alright.
It's flashing right now. We're in the wash cycle. It just took a little bit of water. It will take more. And our pipes do rattle.
Thanks. You know, DIY handyman. You know how that goes. Everybody else's stuff works before yours does.
That's it.
Alright. Then a side note, it's going to be loud now, but we just have it on cotton normal here. So that's where we leave it. Yet again, we don't mess with anything. We just throw stuff in. She has it set the way she wants it. We hit 3 buttons and we're on our way. Then when we come back, it's all done. It's all dry. Now, other side note. You're going to pull stuff out, and sometimes you're going to feel what feels like wetness. Personally, I think it's mostly just cold, but they are slightly damp sometimes. Just kind of, we just have buckets here. Throw them in your bucket. Don't push it down. Just kind of throw it around your bucket. See, stuff is kind of laying over the bucket. And it will air dry in no time. You know, we have these buckets that have the holes in the side, so it allows air through. So obviously if you're putting it like in this kind of a bucket, that's not going to work. But that way, hopefully it'll be dry.
Normally if I pull a towel out, by the time I fluff it and fold it, it's dry in my hands. I just can't fold because I'm hurt right now.
My wife hurt her arm, so that's why we're doing this right now, is I'm trying to learn it. And that's why we're also behind on wash. So one last note here. It should come with everything you need. Mine came with all the hoses and everything like that. They were inside. It also came with a tool, and that tool will adjust. There's 4 feet on the bottom. That tool sticks underneath there, and you have to just painstakingly turn that up, down, or whatever direction you need to get your machine level. That is something about these machines. They do shake and rattle a little bit as it is, so you want to get them as level and flat as you possibly can. Hopefully this answers all the questions I'm getting on this. And yes, we have 3 of these machines in our family because we really like them. Yes, they too do take a little while to go, but really, according to this, 2 hours and 50 minutes. I don't know, it may take a little more, it may take a little less. But by the time you wash something 2 or 3 times and then finally get it dry, you're not only spending more on energy, wasting water, but also you're wasting your time. And that really is a problem we had, and I know there's other people out there with that same problem. As well as like the last machine we had, by the time you washed it, got down here and dried it, even if you did all that in order and in a timely fashion, it was usually a couple hours or more by the time it was all said and done. So I don't know really why people, maybe the machines we've had are really slow machines or take forever to wash and then take forever to dry. And then a lot of times, especially towards the end of our last machine, we were having to dry things 2 or 3 times because the elements in that were going, and I even replaced an element in it, and it still just, it never dried well after that. So that's why we went to this machine, and we absolutely love these machines. My kids love theirs, my mom loves hers, and we love this one. So hopefully that answers all the questions. Hopefully everything is said and done about these. I will probably not make any more videos on these unless I have some really good questions out there. But please don't tell me, or don't ask me how to wash each individual thing that you own, because I don't know. We shove it in, we turn it on, and we're done with it. We come back, we fold it. I don't fold it, but we put it in the baskets. For the most part, my wife folds the towels and those kind of things, and we're all done with it. So regardless, hopefully you enjoyed this. If you like these kind of videos, please go check out my channel. Thanks for watching Junkworks DIY Garage, where I'm proud to say I'm a jack of all and obviously master of none. You all have a good one.